In this video, I'm going to go over exactly how I wish someone explained AI agents to me when I first started. The shift now is we're getting to a point where AI is able to control itself. It's not like stagnant AI, it's dynamic. If you can find a system or a gap and a loophole in a business and automate that for them, they're willing to pay you a lot of money. And I'm going to get into how to actually monetize the skill in a bit. But like I said, this is the beginner's guide to AI agents. All right. This is how AI can work for you 24/7. Now, again, we're not working with stagnant AI here. We want AI that's actually automated, moving, dynamic. And the best part about AI is there's infinite energy potential, right? These bots don't have to sleep. They don't need someone to wake them up, or, they're not late for work, right? They're going to be working 24/7. They're never going to call in sick. AI agents are like employees who never sleep, never forget, and work for pennies in the dollar. I mean, you're not paying a human to do this. Even if the software is a few $100s a month, it's still pennies in the dollar compared to what you'd be paying a human for. Here we have SpongeBob, the standard human, overworked. And then you have to start thinking like, what kind of mistakes is a human going to make if they're tired and working? And this is the robot after 1 billion hours of work. It's ready to just be abused all day, every day, 24/7. So right now we're in the era of a golden opportunity. And you'll hear a lot of people saying with the AI gold rush, bro, the AI gold rush. Let's be honest, search interest for AI agents has skyrocketed in the last 12 months. It's recently taken a dip, which is fantastic for us, right? We don't want the people who are looking up AI agents aren't going to be the people who we want as customers. They're going to be our competition. So the fact that it is taking a little bit of it's leveling off a little bit here is good for us. Early adopters of trends like crypto, Bitcoin, SMMA, e-com, those are the guys who get the biggest returns. I think about Amazon, right? Starting an FBA business is nowhere near as feasible as it once was. But now with AI, you don't even necessarily have to have the information. You just need to understand the application. So if you can understand the application, but you don't necessarily have the knowledge of how to do it, it's totally fine. You can use AI to think about how we're actually going to put these things into practice. All you need to do is bring the ideas for the automations, for the systems, and you're sorted. So we've never seen a time like this before in history, ever. And they're not a fad because, someone losing their job is a very tangible consequence as a result of this. Like, you can call it a fad until you lose your job, buddy, and then it's like, see you later. AI is going to continue to take over. It's going to continue to be more and more influential in people's lives. And unfortunately, it's going to be people who adapt and learn to create who are going to prosper. You shouldn't be afraid of AI. You should be using it to your advantage so you can constantly be getting ahead of the competition. So what are AI agents? And again, I'm going to try to explain this in the best way possible, how I would like it if I were a beginner. So the basics, right? They never forget anything you tell them. This isn't a human. We've already covered that. This isn't a human. They're not going to be tired. They're not going to complain. They're just going to give you the zeros and the ones. They're going to give you the answers. They're going to do their best. And it's in lightning speed. Just in the time that it takes you to ask somebody a question, they think they have attitude, whatever. With AI, it's just bang, bang, bang. You get the question, you're good to go, keep moving on. Just think about how much time that saves. They follow instructions exactly. So if you say, hey, do this, it will, for the most part, follow instructions. Now, I said exactly, it's a bit hyperbolic because it won't necessarily follow instructions completely. Even GPT, sometimes it starts to hallucinate. But with AI agents, they will follow the instructions of take data from the sheet, bring it over here, have this bot automate this process, bam, call goes out, okay, call comes in. This is what there won't be mistakes with. You're not going to have a mistake and have someone, accidentally putting Jimmy's secret folder deep in his computer and throwing that on an email for, everyone to see. That's not going to happen with AI. And obviously they cost a fraction of hiring a human. So when we implement these AI agents into businesses, we go into their business and then we say, it's kind of a no-brainer, right? Like, why would you deal with some secretary when you can just have an AI agent just answering calls all day, every day, intake, and then now, your business is optimizing at a level that it never has before. So the tasks that they can handle. Now, there's obviously, I just put the main ones here. There's so many different tasks they can handle. The ones that we're going to be focusing on primarily are going to be ones that businesses have problems with, like answering emails. Who wants to sit there and answer emails, their texts, their lead forms, all this monotonous garbage that businesses once had to spend time doing? Now they don't. They can schedule meetings. So again, you can set up all these systems, very thorough process where people come in from ads, they're fully vetted by AI and scheduled for meetings. Most people want their experience in any business to be quick, fast. They don't want, it's going to take 10 hours and I have to wait till tomorrow because this lazy business owner isn't answering their phone. That's what most business owners, and especially local business owners, and you'd be surprised, even top level guys I've talked to who own $5-10 million e-com companies are pretty lazy. Like, They don't always answer their phone. They're not always fast with it. So you can use these AI agents to make their life even easier. It can call potential clients to upsell. And I have some videos coming out soon showing you guys the call agents where it's literally calling you in real time. So subscribe if you want to see those videos, because I'm having all the AI tech, every automation that I can possibly think of or comes across my table, I'm going to be showing you guys here for free on YouTube. So hit that subscribe button. And also, it can really just take care of the majority of administrative tasks. You can use N8N, Zapier, ChatGPT. So what N8N is it's essentially a platform where you can organize your own AI agents. So you can put pieces together and experiment and see, okay, so I can actually automate this system and this system. And my next video will be an introduction to N8N agents, because those are like pretty much what I use all day, every day for my agency personally. And Zapier, I mean, you guys should by now know what Zapier is, but Zapier, what it can do is it can link different softwares. So for example, if you get a new form filled out on a Facebook ad and that triggers over to your Google Sheet, you can get a text message in a second that just let you know, oh, lead came in with all the information, pick the phone up and call them. There's so many other examples, but I want to get into how AI agents actually work, right? Because especially if you're like a beginner and you have no idea what's going on, this is probably the most valuable information that you can learn. And again, subscribe to the channel because I'm going to be coming out with a lot more sauce. The best way to think about it is it's like a brain. So you have the brain, which is ChatGPT, Claude, and these are the large language models, way better than any human could possibly be. You'll connect these tools like Gmail, Slack, Notion, Go High Level, different APIs. And the cool thing is they're capable of reasoning, decision-making, and automatic task execution, which is huge. And this is why you see so many GPT projects coming up. It's because it can automatically give you access to not only the information that GPT has, but it can automate tasks in a very quick and decisive manner with good, or at least the best quality information that you could possibly find, even with research. The big difference is like GPT is the engine. It's the engine plus the tools, and you're getting an output. If my brain was ChatGPT, it's like my hands are the tools. That's exactly what the relationship is between the brain, the ChatGPT, Claude, the large language models, and then the actual tools. So you're creating these AI agent workers essentially that are just completely doing all these tasks based on the information that's provided to ChatGPT. AI agents versus traditional automation. You guys have maybe heard automation, depending on the industry that you're in. Traditional automations are just kind of like this gets dropped here, right? If you want to think about it like that, there is no, well, let's decide which one and then we'll go to that and then we'll do this. Traditional automation is it's all algorithmic, if that makes sense. So for example, like even in factories, if you want to think about it, if this was, a certain size and something else is a certain size, and it would maybe have like a tool that measures in real time, and then the computer is then able to like figure out which one is more just based on zeros and ones, if that makes sense. Whereas with AI, now we literally can see it and actually like reason based on a much more advanced dynamic reasoning. And this is huge. This is what everyone is so afraid of right now, because it's literally able to be context aware, just like I have here. It adapts to complex tasks as well. So anything you throw at it, it can pretty much adapt and learn. And you'll even notice if you're talking to ChatGPT, the more you talk to it, it'll start to talk to you. The more you ask it for advice, it'll start to kind of know you. And then if you say like, hey, where is this restaurant? It knows exactly where you live. And it'll say, oh, right here, right here, right here. Even if you're not there, like it knows everything about you, your family. It'll start recalling things. And that's because its capacity for artificial intelligence, because it's not real intelligence, but artificial intelligence and optimizations is unmatched. So think about the power in this, where now instead of having a human answer the phone, why would you need a human? If it can thoroughly synthesize the information that's coming in from the call and then turn it into, okay, so this needs to go here, this sheet. And obviously we have all the integrations now with the APIs. So everything can come together. It's really just as far as your mind can imagine. Now, why should you care? Well, number one, efficiency and cost savings. Gone are the days of paying a secretary $5,000 a month. Number two is scalability. I mean, if you can create more and more agents, and think about this now, I don't mean to scare you guys, but something I've experimented myself with is creating agents that then control other agents that control other agents. And if you can start to kind of build this huge web of agents controlling agents, you can essentially fully automate your business. Can you do that with humans? No. Now, again, this brings into the question where will this lead to, right? What's the cap? Because you can only be so scalable. You can only be so automated. And obviously there's certain things you can't automate. But I mean, people are saying that like there's going to be a one-man company, billion-dollar company. And honestly, could be very true very quickly because of how much so fast you can do with AI. Adaptability, auto adjust as data and environment changes. It can make changes in the fly. So if you say, hey, if you see this or this or this, adjust and optimize for X, it will do that and make the decision. It can actually analyze the information. Like right now with GPT, I mean, you guys have seen the OpenAI demonstrations where it's literally like on a FaceTime call with you and you can say like, okay, what am I holding up? And it'll look at it, analyze it, and understand what you're holding up. And 5 or 6 are really one point. Accessibility and future of work. because it's so accessible, everyone is racing to create things with AI. So many people are looking to create the next AI, but it's kind of just muddying the market, right? Because like these things don't actually have value. Like you can use a GPT wrapper to create a software, but you didn't create anything. All you did was just implement API keys and just rebrand it on a website. Like that's nothing. That's not real value. And the big thing is like with more and more and more AI, I mean, it's unfortunate, but if you aren't ahead of the game and you're not constantly strategizing and thinking, well, what am I going to do with AI? How am I going to use AI to help other businesses? But how can I set up the infrastructure for businesses so I can continue to get paid on a monthly recurring basis? I mean, you're screwed because the future of work does not look very good. And honestly, it's very interesting because if you think about it, the AI is essentially becoming so quote unquote hyper intelligent that it's flipping things backwards. Like it's almost going to enslave us when you think about it. The only work that will be left will be the most manual work. Who's going to be making all that sweet online money? Oh, it's going to be the people who either figured out AI, but even those people who figured out AI will eventually be replaced by AI because AI will just replace them because they'll be like, oh, we don't need the owner or the CEO. He's a human. We can just do this ourselves. And what happens when they start turning their back on commands? I mean, that's a pretty scary scenario. So this is why it's so important to just get your feet wet with AI now, start understanding it and try to get used to it as fast as possible because things are changing. And the AI agent market is projected to reach 28 billion by 2030. And I go even higher. Like 28 billion does not seem anywhere near as high as I'm thinking, considering that like most huge companies, Fortune 500 CEOs, all these companies are going to be implementing massive, massive AI projects. And again, most companies have people who are much older, who have archaic structures and are not prepared to actually implement AI and integrate this stuff. And I mean, just think about it. Like if businesses using AI agents save 30 to 50% on operations, do you really think they're going to continue to hire humans? Absolutely not. And early adoption equals your competitive advantage. You need to be an early adopter now. The problem is it's exponentially growing every single day. So yes, today you watch the rest of my videos that are coming out. You have to study AI because if you're not studying AI right now, you're cooked. Like you're cooked. So either get on the train or, we'll see you later. And like I'm saying, every minute saved across tasks. See, all the time you're spending during the day, you only have so much time to figure this AI thing out before it starts to become so much and so oversaturated in just everything that, at a certain point, AI doesn't need AI. So you need to make sure you're optimizing your time and just trying to free up your time to focus on high level strategy and growth. That is the most important thing for you to do right now is just relax. Focus on building agents, focus on your skills, and you'll be good to go. Now, how have I went about creating AI agents and helping companies to implement and building out systems where I can actually have value in the long term? I've built AI agents for local businesses and many different companies that are more closely related to stuff that I worked on in the past and, different e-com brands, consulting, etc. So if you guys need any help with that, book a call down below. I'd be more than happy to, talk to you. Obviously, my services aren't cheap, but worst case scenario, you leave the call with a better understanding and you just go do everything that I tell you to do for yourself. So the next video is going to be about NAN. This is by far the most powerful engine for creating automations currently that we have right now, at least at this point in time. Like and subscribe. I'll see you in the next one. Take care.